What is happening? Welcome to another Plus Pitch podcast. My name is Nick Pollack. Today is Memorial Day, May 26th. 6th. And yes, we are going to talk about baseball. I led with Tarek Skubal, Tarek the captain, of course, Derek the captain, Derek Jeter, because, well, he was just so good. I don't ever do this. I don't lead with aces in the SP roundup, but sometimes I just want to say to everybody, look, step back and observe what a really good pitcher looks like, and let's appreciate this. A complete game shutout, 2 hits, 0 walks, 13 strikeouts for a golden goal, 26 whiffs, 41% CSW. To go 13 strikeouts in 94 pitches is unheard of, because to get a strikeout, you need a minimum of 3 pitches, which innately means if you're going 13 Ks of your 27 outs, you need at minimum 39 pitches to get to that. That means you have 51 pitches remaining to get a Maddox for the other 14 outs, and that's really hard to ask for when you're not striking them out. Incredible game. Changeup was insane, 14 over 29 whiffs. He gassed it up to 101.6 to end the 7th, and then threw his last pitch of the 9th, end the game, 102.6. So cool. Yeah, he was like 97, 98 otherwise. It was just really fun for him to do that. He is him. Oh, it was amazing. All right, Ryan Pepiot went 7 innings of shutout against the Jays. That's amazing. Got a win. 5 strikeouts, 4 base runners. It was a little interesting because we're not seeing the big slider whip pitch for Ryan Pepiot. And that was the pitch that I really liked with the changeup that really made 2 whiffable pitches, and this 4-seamer, also a big whiff pitch. However, he's now shifting to a cutter. He does have a cutter and a slider. Keep that in mind. There's a 90-mile-per-hour slider and a 92 cutter, but it really is just one big cutter. And I kind of like it for Pepiot because the 4-seamer can be the whiff pitch. The changeup can be with the whiff pitch. And it's really about getting better strikes to set up that 4-seamer a bit. This can work. I'm going to be following this a bit moving forward to see, hey, are you really leaning in on that 87-mile-per-hour slider still at all? Is that really just gone? If it is, it might actually be for the better. I will say, though, changeup not really well spotted. So fix that, Pepiot. But we're going to keep going with Pepiot, and hopefully this is a good shift in his approach moving forward. Edward Cabrera, there's a lot to say here, and I'm going to try and make it quick. He went against the Angels, got the win, 5.2 innings of 0 runs, 3 hits, 2 walks, and 10 Ks. Thing is, he had 18 whiffs with his breaking balls destroying. We had 11 over 11 strikes on sliders with 6 whiffs on that, 6 for 11. He had 5 punch-outs on that. Insane. He had a curveball at 7 over 20 whiffs. Amazing. Edward Cabrera, my gosh, you're just killing it here. The bad part is that the last 2 batters were walks. So annoying. He went 5.2 innings. He was about to get clean, 6 innings, no walks, 10 Ks, all of that. And he gets a 3-1 fastball called as a ball that was borderline inside the zone. And then he had a 3-2 fastball miss, and there you go. We also have the changeup not really being that good. 40% strikes. He did have some nice ones, and they were low, but those weren't the big pitches that we normally see them act as. And to see Cabrera lean into 4-seamers more than sinkers is actually not what I like. 53% strikes on the 4-seamer, actually 57, I should say, not ideal, while the sinker was much better at it inside the zone, but it was thrown less. We had about 33 4-seamers and about 20 sinkers. I kind of think that will get reversed, but truly, if ever Cabrera is throwing as many strikes as he is with his slider and his curveball, he will be great. And I've been shouting for ages, throw more sliders, please, Edward Cabrera. You threw 11 of them, all for strikes. I think he might have woken up here and gotten the message. That would be really cool. The Giants, Rays, and Nationals are next for Edward Cabrera. Yes, I am jumping in on this. No, I'm not going to say that Edward Cabrera is now fixed forever. This could just be a moment. We've seen moments before from him. This is an encouraging one because it is including all of the things that we want Edward Cabrera to be doing. Dean Kramer, I've called him Dean Werewolf because he generally comes around once a month and is good then. But this was another good one. 5.1 innings of 0 runs, 7 hits, 1 walk, and 4 Ks in Fenway, which is cool. And he went Blake Snell blueprint against lefties with 4-seamers generally up and splitters that were really great down and away. The sinker and cutter was fine enough for right-handers. Gets the White Sox next. It feels like that should be all right. I hope so. Chris Bubich against the Twins, 7 innings, 1 earned run, 2 hits, 2 walks, 9 Ks. He just keeps rolling. We saw the four-seamer just get complete freedom inside of the zone. 10 over 21 called strikes on that four-seamer, and then the changeup, which wasn't even a massively high strike pitch, was then put into play a ton from that for outs. Oh, that works. That's really cool with us. Bailey Ober against the Royals got his revenge after last year, and 6.2 innings of 1 earned run, 7 hits, 1 walk, 3 Ks. It wasn't really his best start. He had really good command on the four-seamer, 90, 91 though, not 92 that we really want to see. The slider and cutter still, whatever. Really good changeups to lefties. So he dealt with lefties well, which generally we can expect over for. Righties are still kind of a little bit of a problem. Robbie Ray wrote this whole thing about him, but really it's just about, hey, he's the perfect example of my methodology, which is I understand that a guy who is performing well, or that a guy who's performing poorly is performing poorly. I get that every single time, and my job is to say, okay, great. Are those results what we should expect or not? Not just based on those results happening. And Robbie Ray was someone that you could say, yes, he deserved all that failure before. And also, he's very unlikely to have the same exact pitch mix and four-seamer usage and low strike rates on his secondaries. And what do you know? He has been great since the end of April, about April 26th, moving on. This was another one against the Nationals where it looks like he should be an ace is going to ace at this point, right? 6 innings, 1 earned run, 3 hits, 0 walks, and 7 Ks. But here's the thing. I'm not trying to tell you that, oh, Robbie Ray was bad, but now all of a sudden he's just an ace and he's incredible. See, haha, I told you. No. What I'm trying to outline is, hey, look, this is more of what we expect from Robbie Ray. And also, he will have some volatility still, right? We're going to likely see those days where the slider can't be thrown for strikes or the changeup isn't good and the curveball isn't. And he has to go back fully to fastballs all the time. But things are pretty cool right now. And we just keep going with this. 1 out of 21 slider whiffs is very strange, though, especially against the Nationals who are left-handed focused. Very, very odd, but hey, glorious schedule and everything is cool. Landon Knack actually had a really good game. There was an error in the first and then a P. Alonso 2-run shot, but that's off the books for him. 6 innings, 1 earned run, 4 hits, 0 walks, and 5 strikeouts. Yeah, the kick change was great. 76% strikes. That's really cool. Slider's only at 2 for 17 whiffs. It did go 2 strikeouts and 4 outs in play and 4 for 4 there. 91 pitches is also really interesting because Knack was used mostly at 60 pitches or so for a bit this year with the Dodgers, and it's the Yankees next. So you don't need to hold on to Landon Knack. I also don't really think of him as an elite starter or anything close to it. This was a very nice one for a gold star. He gets the Cardinals and Giants after the Yankees, but also, what are the Dodgers doing? Like, when are we, I don't know, what is this rotation going to look like when he theoretically gets the Cardinals and Giants, right? Is that going to be there? Is he going to be starting those games? Is he going to be skipped around? I don't know. I don't feel like I need to hold on to this. Kodai Senga against the Dodgers on the other side, 5.1 innings of 1 earned run, 5 hits, 4 walks, and 5 Ks. Yeah, those 4 walks, whatever. But he's doing Senga things. It's fine. And that's a really good result against the Dodgers. So all is well there. Logan Henderson, he just got optioned even though he looked really good again. 5 innings, 1 earned run, 5 hits, 2 walks, and 6 Ks. What's going on here? Why? And all of a sudden, bam, he's not there anymore. So I think like Logan Henderson will come back at some point. But as of right now, I don't think that you need to be holding on to Logan Henderson and stashing him massively. He's been really good with his four-seamer upstairs, but the changeup is good underneath. It wasn't amazing in this one. And the secondaries, the other ones, the breakers, really not spectacular. I want to see something else there and hopefully another strike pitch. But Logan Henderson is a solid play, and I'm very curious to see what his schedule looks like when he does come back. Spencer Schmellenbach against the Padres, 7 innings, 200 runs, 7 hits, 0 walks, and 11 strikeouts, 20 whiffs, 37% CSW. What was so interesting about this one was that Spencer Schmellenbach dominated with his four-seamer. That is not the guy. That is not the dude that we remember and loved entering the season. It was more about the four-seamer being the worst pitch with the slider being the good one. Well, that actually allowed him 2 home runs because he threw it down and in a little too much. And one of them was honestly a really good 0-2 slider that Gavin Cheats went down and got. And the other one was well in the zone. So, Schmellenbach, I'm happy you had this good start, but it is really strange for me to see that you went 11 over 39 whiffs on the four-seamer. and that did everything, which is strange. You have Davis Martin against the Rangers, 6 innings, 200 runs, 4 hits, 3 walks, and 2 strikeouts. The changeup was really good, 8 for 8 on balls in play, and the cutter is the focus for right-handers, and I like that. I just wonder if it's that effective for you in 12-teamers. It is not a good win chance. You had this good outing, and you didn't get a win here, no decision. He's going to get the Orioles and Tigers next. Maybe you want to do that in Orioles against the Orioles. I think in 15-teamers, you kind of want to lean into it, but I think in 12-teamers, it's just not quite enough. You have Bailey Falter against the Brewers, 5.2 innings of 200 runs, 4 hits, 3 walks, and 1 strikeout. How am I supposed to butter my bread with this? I just can't wait for him to get traded because, let's be honest, the Pirates at some point are just going to be like, whatever. Someone wants this? Sure. Here you go. Maybe not. Maybe like, hey, he's really cheap and we'll just get these innings and call it a day. I don't know. If he does get traded, Bailey Falter does become a very intriguing piece because Falter's four-seamer is really good. It is a 7.3 extension in this one. It comes in at 92. It was the pitch that led the way here. It's just nothing else is there. And I would wonder if there's another organization that can really help squeeze out his value. Walker Buehler against the Orioles. 5 innings, 200 runs, 4 hits, 2 walks, and 3 Ks. He was up to 94 on this, but he wasn't up on the fastball. He was mid with it, or really just middle location, some down a little bit too. And I kind of see the pieces coming together. There is a slider he throws to lefties, a sweeper to righties. There is a sinker that he throws to right-handers. There's the cutters are all over the place a bit. Like, I can see how it all comes together, but it's just not quite it. And it's like little pieces are not there. He also gets Atlanta and the Yankees twice, does Walker Buehler. I don't really feel like you need to hold on to this. Will Warren would have had an amazing outing if it weren't for the rain. He had 17 whiffs and 57 pitches with a 37% CSW. He also had a really tough first, got through it. And 4 innings, 200 runs, 2 hits, 2 walks, and 7 strikeouts. Also, the height adjusted VAA is lower, 1.2, but that's because of the thin air that really lowered the vert on the four-seamer. So you're going to have a lower vert on the four-seamer, which means he's going to have more drop, which means that you're going to get a steeper angle. Makes sense, right? All right, we have other guys to talk about. Luis Castillo, Michael Soroka, Jesus Luzardo, Cal Hendricks, many, many others. We're going to talk about all of them after this break. Jesus Luzardo, 7 innings, 300 runs, 9 hits, 1 walk, 10 Ks. He allowed a home run on the first pitch, and that sweeper just dominated after that. Okay, we're moving on. Luis Castillo, 6 innings, 300 runs, 9 hits, 1 walk, and 6 Ks. That is a very, very poor quality start. And 96-97 is actually kind of interesting. Not the 95 that we normally have seen from Castillo thus far. But I am really concerned about the whiffs and the sliders the sliders and the changeups in general from Castillo. We did see some more whiffs with the slider because it is a right-handed focus lineup, but it wasn't really that good. And I really feel as if Luis Castillo just is meh moving forward. I just don't really see an explosive arm anymore. I don't see that high ceiling arm that we used to see. And it's going to be a lot of fine and bad, and ultimately that isn't good for you. This is a bad whip. 1.67 whip for you is not good. A 4.5 ERA is not good. So keep that in mind here for Luis Castillo. Michael Soroka, 6 innings of 300 runs, but 1 whip and 2 strikeouts. Now he's going to have a tougher schedule ahead, but he will get Rocky Road in a few weeks. That's cool with me. This was against the Giants. This is why he was a stream pick of the day. It worked out. But now we move on to something else. Kyle Hendricks against the Marlins. He got a poor quality start too. That's awesome. I'm happy he got anything for you. Yes, it was the Marlins. So maybe there was a chance that some of you picked him up for this. And we move on. Like, you don't want to touch Kyle Hendricks. Sonny Gray against the Diamondbacks also had a very poor quality start with 5 strikeouts and 0 walks. He got through the Diamondbacks. It's not the best game we've seen from him. We keep rolling there. On the other side, Brandon Pfaadt, 5.2 innings of 300 runs, 5 hits, 1 walk, and 5 strikeouts. What's kind of frustrating is I'm not seeing the curveball against lefties anymore. It was a huge thing in April. I was really excited about it because it was a curveball and this changeup. Against lefties, it was a much better approach. Now it's just the changeup. And he hasn't really had that success since the curveball has fallen away. Maybe the feel of it's gone. I don't know. This was the Cardinals, not really that impressive of a start. But then it's the Nationals and heading into Cincinnati next. I think that's good enough for you to be fine with this and just forget about it. Hopefully he gets back into rhythm for there. You have, with those matchups, I should say. Patrick Corbin against the White Sox. It's 5.1 innings of 300 runs, 5 hits, 1 walk, and 6 Ks. Careful Icarus here. He allowed a solo shot and a double with 1 out into the 6th. And that double, of course, came around to score. So he had 1 earned run after 5. It was so close to really making this work. It is the Cardinals and Nationals next. And maybe you want to chase that for Patrick Corbin. In deep leagues, sure, he's pitching fine enough to justify it. I don't think you should do it in your 12-teamers. Colton Gordon and Tanner Gordon. 2 Gordons don't care, right? In general. So Colton Gordon today, or yesterday rather, against the Mariners, 5 innings, 300 runs, 7 hits, 0 walks, 4 Ks. Kind of impressive considering he's a lefty with a 90, 91 mile per hour fastball facing all right-handers. But yeah, he's not someone you want for your fantasy teams. Gunnar Hoagland is someone I'm moving away from as well. This was an interesting one. 5 innings, 300 runs, 4 hits, 3 walks, and 2 Ks against the Phillies, where he went sinkers instead of 4-seamers. And the 4-seamer to me is really the foundational pitch with the changeup. The fact that he's going with a sinker instead is a little weird. I don't really love the fact that he's getting fewer whiffs. His breakers aren't very good. And yeah, that lean away from the 4-seamer. So the whole thing, the whole package really with Hogan. Also, it's not really fun pitching in Sacra Verde, that is Sacramento. It's not my kind of thing. I am fine with Dylan Cease. Everyone is. He's the premium cherry bomb. 5 innings, 300 runs, 6 hits, 1 walk, 8 strikeouts. It's like, yep, that's Dylan Cease. We live with it. We move on. Nick Lodolo actually pitched pretty well. 5 innings, 300 runs, 6 hits, 2 walks, 6 Ks against the Cubs. And now he's to get Diamondbacks. It's not fun. I still roll with Lodolo because it was 94-95, which is cool. Not like 93. He had really good changeups down and away to right-handers. Had that curve down there too. I'm very much still in on Nick Lodolo. Antonio Sensatella did exactly what you expected, actually maybe better against the Yankees, 400 runs and 4.1 innings in cores. Logan Allen was opposite of Tarek Skubal, so he was just dazed and confused, but really it's Logan Allen against the Tigers. So 400 runs and 6 hits, 4 walks, 2 Ks, and 3.2 innings. Like, yeah, you don't want this. Chris Bassett, if he's still on your teams, you probably don't really need him. 4 innings, 500 runs, 9 hits, 2 walks, 2 Ks. PJ here in chat was saying, hey, look, Chris Bassett, the ball is flying out in George Steinbrenner Field. He can't do this. And yeah, he was right. It's a tough schedule ahead for Bassett, and he's a Toby. You don't really need to hold on to this. And Ben Brown, same kind of thing. It was against the Reds in Cincinnati, and he does get the Reds carpet next, so he's going to be hosting them in Wrigley, which does sound appealing, but it was 4.1 innings of 800 runs, 7 hits, 2 walks, and 4 Ks. On the other side of it, 13 whiffs and a 33% CSW. Ben Brown is Ben Brown. It's a 4-seamer and a curveball. He cannot figure out a sinker or a cutter. He's trying this kick change. It's not really the answer because he needs a strike pitch. He doesn't need this other whiff pitch. He needs something to keep guys more off the fastball. And I don't really think this kick change is going to be that for both sides of the plate. So I'm a little tepid on this. I've been tepid on Ben Brown all year. I'm disappointed about this because I was, it's the Reds, even though they're in Great American Ballpark. Now it is going to be the Reds in Wrigley, which might be a lot better. So hopefully that works out for him. I understand either way of this. You want to take the chance? Sure. I'm probably just not going to deal with it. All right, that is it for today. Thank you all so much for your support. My name is Nick Pollack, and make sure you stick around for the list today because we are going to be live streaming the list this day. Yes, starting at 2 p.m. It's Memorial Day. Come on by. And also, I will be giving away MLB.TV subscriptions. I'm going to be giving them away every single morning this week. We're going to start with the list stream this afternoon. We're going to be giving away 5 MLB.TV subscriptions a day. So come on by and spin the wheel. Let's see what happens. That is it for today. My name is Nick Pollack, and may your BABIPs be low and your strikeouts high.